Hello and welcome to today's episode of Fishing with Joe. First up, we'll be heading to the Ohio Division of Wildlife to speak with Rich Carter about the best smallmouth bass fishing area in central Ohio. Then we'll head to the Scioto River in beautiful downtown Columbus to jam up on some fish. Then we'll talk tackle with Brian Wenzel of R&R Bait and Tackle, the best in the Buckeye State. Then we're heading back to the Scioto River in downtown for even more phenomenal bass fishing. Stay tuned because you're gonna love today's episode of Fishing with Joe. You have gotta love it. Hey everybody, I'm with Mr. Rich Carter from the Ohio Division of Natural Resources, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the fishing on the Scioto River. Recently, you did a study of black bass. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that's correct. You know, I've got responsibility for 13 counties in central Ohio, fish management there. And so in 2010, we did a comprehensive survey of the Scioto River from all the way from Marion, Ohio, all the way down to Circleville, Ohio. So that included, you know, all the areas above and below Griggs, and then down to the Greenlawn Pool and the Town Street Pool right in downtown. So, and we did electrofishing, so, you know, that's a technique that runs a mild electrical current into the water. It stuns the fish. We pick up the fish, count them, measure them, weigh them, and then release them, because by that time they're all fine. But it's a non-lethal method of obtaining information about the fish population. So, you know, we started, and just talking about the fish population there, you've got the area from around Marion down to a little bit below O'Shaughnessy Reservoir, and that area is kind of slow moving, and you have a lot of silty bottoms. And so the area there, not the greatest for smallmouth or largemouth or whatnot. We caught some fish, but not a lot. But when you get to O'Shaughnessy and downstream, just around Columbus, then it gets really good. So from about, you know, 3 or 4 miles above O'Shaughnessy, really quality smallmouth habitat. And by smallmouth habitat, I mean rocks and riffles and lots of places where there's crayfish that are living, which smallmouth love to eat, as you know. And then, so that was really outstanding smallmouth fishing, and we look at catch rates as a catch per unit of effort. So we look at the number of fish we catch per hour, really good catch rates there. And then you get O'Shaughnessy Reservoir. We survey that for black bass, but that's just in the spring, and that's largemouth habitat mostly, and some smallmouth, but that really wasn't included in the Scioto River study. But from O'Shaughnessy Reservoir down to Griggs Reservoir, that is also outstanding smallmouth habitat, and outstanding smallmouth are found there. And then the best area really was from below Griggs Reservoir down to the Dublin Road water treatment plant. And there the smallmouth bass population is just outstanding. It's the best of any of the stretches along the Scioto River that we saw. But in general, if you talk about the smallmouth bass population in the river from the Dublin Road water treatment plant up to above O'Shaughnessy Reservoir, it's just outstanding. And the catch rates there are twice as much as what you might see in some of our better smallmouth streams, like at the Big Darby, for instance. Everybody knows about the Big Darby, how good that is, but this is better. Same way with the Kokosing River. It's, you know, it's just outstanding smallmouth habitat, great fishing there.
Now, what are the catch rates like in these areas?
Well, you know, we're talking about, if you talk about the number of fish per hour, we're talking around between 100 to 200 fish per hour, whereas when you look at the Big Darby, you might be talking about 50 fish per hour.
Wow.
Something like that.
That's an enormous difference.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
Twice as many, 3 times as many, maybe 4 times as many fish.
Yeah, just outstanding.
What is it about the Scioto that makes it so great?
I think it's the habitat. So you have the rocks, and then you have the riffles and pools. So a good combination of both those habitats. So that supports a diversity of smaller stuff, crayfish or minnows, shad, whatever the stuff that the smallmouth need to survive. So that's what's there that I think makes it really good.
Wow. So we know a lot of information about the Scioto River. We know where the best fishing spots are on the Scioto River, places where you can go and catch some smallmouth bass. And now, what about the downtown pool that we were fishing in today's show? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, that, you know, the downtown pool, you know, it's slow moving area, so it's slower, and those kinds of conditions, with those kinds of conditions, you get a fish population that develops like what you're catching, the largemouth bass. You know, you get good largemouth bass fishing there. Same thing with crappies, and you know, we've talked about crappies, being able to catch those there. And then you get catfish, channel catfish, an occasional flathead catfish shows up, so good catfishing in those areas. So you got the downtown pool, the town street pool that we call it here, and then you drop below to the Green Lawn pool, same deal, same kind of habitat, and that's the kind of fish that you see. And then once you get below Green Lawn, there the habitat changes a little bit. It's moving through sandy habitat, a little slower moving, a little deeper pools, and that area is conducive to survival of spotted bass. And that's most of the fish that we caught below Green Lawn were spotted bass with an occasional smallmouth mixed in, but very few largemouth bass.
And in one of the upcoming shows, I'm actually going to go on the lower Scioto River and show you some of those spotted bass. So you want to make sure you stay tuned and tune in every week and check out those shows, because I'm going to show some of that spotted bass fishing too. So, Mr. Carter, thank you very, very much for your time. Thank you for all the information that you gave us. Really appreciate it, and really enjoyed my time with you.
Well, it's a pleasure being on your show. I enjoyed it as well.
Well, thank you very much. All right, everybody. Now it's time to go back out on the water and catch some more fish.
Hello, and welcome to Fishing with Joe. I'm spokesmodel Taylor Rowland, and in this show segment, Joe will be heading into the heart of downtown Columbus for some phenomenal bass fishing. You're watching the best fishing show the Buckeye State has ever seen. Fishing with Joe, you have gotta love it.
Got one in there, this will find him.
Oh, goodness gracious! Oh my gosh! That's a beast!
Going for the net. Get in here. Oh, come here, come here, come here. Ah, yeah. Now that's what I'm talking about. That is what I am talking about right there. Whew. People ask me about fishing in downtown Columbus. They go, Joe, you ever catch any bass in downtown Columbus? I go, yeah, I catch a big bass in downtown Columbus on spinner baits, tons of them. Don't believe me? There's Vets Memorial behind me. Want them to turn the boat a little bit so you can see all the sights in downtown Columbus. And there's the Columbia Gas Building, the VEC Tower, and there's the Santa Maria. Wow. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Gotta love it. Get a good look at that one. Beautiful, beautiful downtown Columbus largemouth bass. You gotta love it. All right, Mr. Fish. Time for you to go back. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, thank you.
Need bait and tackle for your next fishing trip? Check out R&R Bait and Tackle. Believe me when I say they're the best in the Buckeye State. Open 7 days a week, all summer long. Now let's get back to the action.
Yeah, there's some rocky areas underneath of this bridge.
Ooh, there we go. Good one. Good one. Oh, yeah, it is. This is a good smallie. Whoa. He's caught in the trolling motor. He's caught in the trolling motor. Oh, gosh. This isn't a smallie at all.
Little bit of everything down here. A little bit of everything. Whoa. There we go. Big channel catfish. Big. I'm holding him tight because he's ready to flip out of my hands. Oh. There he went. Oh yeah. There we go. Largemouth. Largemouth bass. All right. I don't want to get blown over some other areas that could potentially be holding more fish. Here's what I'm gonna do right now. Let me do this. All right. Fans, keep looking behind me. Keep looking. Keep looking. Keep watching behind me. I'm going to show you one of the most unique settings to catch bass in the state of Ohio. That is downtown Columbus right there. Wow, skyscrapers, trains going over bridges. That's the Arena District right there, where the Blue Jackets play hockey games. I'm catching bass on the Scioto River, having fun. All right, there we go. Beautiful fish. Put him back. Thank you, Mr. Fish. Thank you very much. All right.
Do you want to get hooked up? Well, you can. Joe has the best fishing guide service in Central Ohio. Just go to fishingwithjoe.com and book your trip today.
Ooh, there we go. Ooh, it's a good one too. Oh my God, it's a good one. Oh my God, this is a beast. This is a beast. Okay, stay on the end of the line. Stay on the end of the line. Oh gosh, it's a catfish. Just obliterated that spinnerbait. Get in the net. He's so big, I can't even hardly fit him in the net. Just gave me a bath. Wow. When you're fishing in areas like downtown Columbus, anything can happen. I'm gonna go to work on this fish right here and get him off the end of the line. It's a huge channel cat. All right, now as soon as I touch him, I know he's gonna go crazy. All right. It's important to get behind those fins. He's so fat, I can't even get my hands around him. All right, here There we go. Come on. Gotta shake that hook a little bit. That is a monster. That is a monster catfish. Got a little bit of blood on him. And I'm gonna wash that off. Hopefully he doesn't get away when I do that. Alright. Alright. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful channel cat. Beautiful catfish. On a spinnerbait of all things. Wow. Alright, Mr. Catfish, going back. Thank you. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. You never know what you're going to catch in downtown Columbus. Hey everybody, it's tackle time with Brian Wenzel, and Brian is going to go over some of the tackle that we used in this segment of the show. Brian, I see you have some tackle laid out for us. Tell us about it.
We do, Joe, we do. Well, spinner baits. I know you like to use spinner baits.
I love to use spinner baits.
We've got several different kinds of spinner baits, and this is just a few of what's on the market, but these are mainly 1/4 ounce, 1/8 quarter, 3/16. Chartreuse. They all have some chartreuse in them. You've got different, tandem ones here. There's a lot of different makes depending on the water you're fishing, and you can do a lot of different things with a spinner bait. Changing blades, modifying them. I know that you like to modify your spinner baits, so tell us your secret there, Joe.
That's exactly what I like to do. I like to use a smaller bait, about a 1/4 ounce bait. I like a tandem bait with a willow leaf blade. And then what I'll do is I'll take that willow leaf blade off and replace it with an oversized blade. And what that oversized blade does is it makes the bait heavier so I can throw it a little bit farther, but it comes through the water slower. And our Ohio fish, they need a little bit of time to think about that bait and whether they want to hit it or not. And that slower speed coming through the water makes that fish hit that bait instead of pass it up.
Yep. So all you need sometimes to trigger the bait, the bite. Absolutely.
That's it. Absolutely. Now, Brian, so you got some line set out here. What kind of line are we going to use to throw those baits?
We've got a couple different types here. We've got monofilament line. This is Berkley Trilene XL, 14-pound test. This is clear line. It works good. It's a not a real expensive line. It's not hard on the wallet. Okay, we have a lot of different types of high performance braided line. This is Fireline 20-pound test. It's a little more money. It's a very strong. The nice thing about this, you can put a lot higher poundage on there. Like this 20-pound test, it's only 4 or 6 pound diameter, so you have a much thinner line. It helps you to cast further with a stronger line. Very sensitive. Both good lines for spinner baits, either one of them.
Absolutely, and it's necessary to use the heavy line when throwing a spinner bait, especially around heavy cover. That way at the end of the day you don't lose a lot of spinner baits. You can just rip those baits free when you get in the weeds and you get around the tree limbs and other things that you'll be encountering on the Scioto River. So you want to use a little bit heavier line like these right here. Now Brian, what kind of rod and reel are we going to use for throwing spinner baits?
Well, reel wise, we use not a real heavy. This is a bait casting reel. It's a Quantum Energy reel. It's a high quality reel, very smooth. It's got 9 ball bearings in it, so it's just turning that thing is so smooth you can't feel anything but the handle going around. It's a very easy, fun reel to use, and we're going to put that on a 6-foot medium action St. Croix rod, 100% graphite rod. Combination of these two and the good line, you can't go wrong with. This is very easy casting. You don't need a long rod for these spinner baits, so This is, I think, what you throw, something similar there.
This is what I use. I like a 6-foot rod for throwing the spinner baits because it's easier to handle. At the end of the day, I've thrown that spinner bait 1,000 times. A 6-foot rod is lighter than a 6.5-foot rod. Also, when I get that little roll cast going, that 6-foot rod, it isn't too long and it isn't smacking the water when I make that cast. So it's a lot easier to deal with, like that 6-foot rod right there. Now, Brian, there was another bait that I used for a little while, and I ended up catching a catfish on that. And you have some of those baits sitting right here that you're going to show us.
And the old catfish, you just never know what they will eat, but they do like little crankbaits. You know, the muddy water, we use the brighter colors. This is these all have chartreuse. There's a lot of different colors, sizes, but in the muddy water, which the Scioto River is very muddy most of the time, these are going to make it a lot easier for the fish to see and help increase you getting bit.
That's it. When the water's muddy, chartreuse. When the water clears up, I switch to crawfish patterns. So I'll use something like brown and orange then.
Something darker, that's correct.
And Brian, we're going to throw these on a lighter line than we would the spinnerbait. So we're going to use something like a 10-pound line. That way we can cast it just a little bit further, and it's going to give the bait more of a natural action as it comes through the water. Right. So a little bit lighter line, and basically 10-pound line, basically throwing it on the same rod and reel. So now you know what to use to catch some fish. You know how to work a spinnerbait, and we're going to go back out in the water and we're going to catch some more fish. Ooh, there we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. From catfish to smallmouth bass. That's what I'm talking about. We've had some extremely warm weather lately. Extremely warm weather. Last night it rained quite a bit and it cooled off. These fish are on the mad bite because of it. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful smallmouth bass. You gotta love that. It's in August and I'm catching them on a spinnerbait. Gotta love it. Let me show you this spinnerbait. I'm gonna actually put this fish back. There we go. Thank you, Mr. Fish. Put this fish back and show you my beat up spinnerbait. These blades have been bounced off of so many bridge piers. Most of the paint is gone. White and chartreuse skirt. Trailer hook. I'm fishing in an area with smallmouth bass. Got to use a trailer hook. There we go. 1/4 ounce bait. I'm going to put it back to work. All right. Fish was supposed to be right in there. Alright. Could have been one sitting right there. Or there could be one sitting right in this eddy right here. Ooh, there he goes. There we go. Oh yeah, another beautiful fish. They're sitting right where they're supposed to be today. When you're fishing for smallmouth, always concentrate on current. Current is an enormous factor in the life of a smallmouth bass. An enormous factor. Okay. And he just annihilated that bait. Okay. There we go. Another smallmouth bass on the spinnerbait. They're just exactly where they're supposed to be, right in the current every single time. All right, he's going back. Thank you, Mr. Fish. Thank you very, very much. Oh yeah. Okay, back to work. Oh, goodness gracious! Goodness gracious! Oh gosh! Look at that! My goodness! Look at that fish! Look at that! That is a beautiful smallmouth bass. Oh, coming in the boat. Coming in the boat. Yeah. Just tearing them up today. Slaughter. It's a slaughter. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful smallmouth bass. They are on a mad spinnerbait bite today. I can't put the spinnerbait down for very long because they just keep hitting it and hitting it and hitting it. Another beautiful fish. And you can see that this fish is a product of catch and release. It's important to fish, catch and release and let these fish go so that the next guy who comes to the lake or comes to the river has an opportunity to be able to catch fish as well. It's a beautiful, beautiful fish. All right, Mr. Fish, going back home. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I know there's a fish in this area. There has to be. Whether he hits this lure or not, I don't know. Oh, there he goes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Another beautiful smallmouth bass. Another beautiful, beautiful fish. Now in the background, you'll hear lots of noises. There are helicopters all around. There are cars going over top of bridges. You can hear all of that. You can see downtown in the background. And I'm gonna turn the boat around so you can take a look at this. Check that out. Thousands and thousands of people going to work. Yeah, I feel sorry for them. Too bad they can't be fishing. Well, that's all right. I'm gonna catch all the fish for them today. Oh yeah. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Fish. Thank you very, very much. All right, right back to work. I don't think I can top this. I've caught so many. Oh, goodness gracious! Oh, I was just saying I couldn't top myself. For the net. Come here. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Now that's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. Wow. Goodness. Yeah. Okay. I've just been hammering the smallmouth. Ooh. All morning long. Hammering the smallmouth. Hammering them. And I said to myself, there's gotta be some largemouth in the area moving around. At the last second, that fish hit the bait, right before I was getting ready to pull it up. Beautiful, beautiful fish. Let me turn this boat around. You can see the 70 bridge in the background. Everybody going back and forth to work. And then, in the background, right behind me, beautiful, beautiful downtown Columbus. A lot of people don't think of downtown Columbus as a dynamite bass fishing destination. They should. They definitely should. Good close up of that fish. Beautiful downtown Columbus bass. Oh yeah, you gotta love it. All right, Mr. Fish. Going back in. Thank you. All right, everybody, thank you for watching the show. I'm glad that you could spend this time with me. I'm gonna turn the camera off, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna stop fishing. All right. Fishing with Joe, spell it F-I-S-H-N. That is what I'm talking about right there. On YouTube, it's the most popular in the state of Ohio. Going back home. Very much. Very much. One a little bit earlier. I knew there was another one. I'm jamming up. Yeah, I'm feeling it. This might be tough.